have 2 cards popping out. Main energy is peace and death, which is very interesting to have together here. The 2 of Swords and the Death card pop out together. 2 opposites. Or maybe there's a death here that gives you peace. You find peace in ending something. You find peace in starting over. You find peace in transforming yourself. Which is fitting for today. This is Christmas Eve. Sometimes surrendering to what is and letting go, not because you are giving up, not because you're trying to force something to happen. You literally let a kite go into the wind because the wind was pulling it. That's the vision that I get here. And actually, the more that I look at this card, 111 in the clock, and when I first looked up, actually, there's balloons, there's hot air balloons flying. You kind of have to let go of all control if you put yourself in a hot air balloon. You don't have any options at that point. You are at the whims of whoever is steering that balloon. But you're okay with that, actually. You're literally like going with the current of life, with water. You are almost, like one of those whirlpools, or like a lazy river where the current of the water pushes everyone along. And you can play around in the water and try to swim against the current, and you realize that you don't get anywhere, and you exert a lot of energy trying to force against the current of life. Instead of just floating or just letting it push you where it needs to go. Knowing your limitations, knowing your boundaries, knowing your power, and what also is your weakness. Knowing when to let go. You find a rebirth in that somehow. You find it freeing. The 7 of Swords. That might be the reason why. You're letting go of worrying about what everyone is saying. You let go of whatever once was for you. You let go of the disappointment, maybe, of what could have been. This is giving me family vibes, but it could give you any kind of group mentality with the 7 of Swords. Very tricky, lying, deceitful. You never really knew where you stood with these types of people. This could be your family. This could be any kind of environment with a group of people. When you finally rise out of that darkness, you have so much more confidence because you gave yourself the opportunity for change. You didn't just sit in the corner or in darkness and just accept it as is. You gave yourself at least a fighting chance to have something new, something lighter, something brighter. And that's a hard decision to make, but ultimately, leaving this scenario gives you a lot of peace. A lot of peace. And that is priceless. Page of Cups. Flirting with new ideas, I want to give this card as now. Like, you had the idea, you had the what if scenario, and you went for it. Do I deserve more here? If I leave this scenario, would this actually be beneficial for me? And you flirted around with that idea, and what costs you more at the end of your life is always being in an atmosphere where you never had any peace, where you never could just take a deep breath around certain people. You could never be yourself around them. You always were walking on eggshells. You were constantly waiting for the next shoe to drop, or the next insult, or the next jab, right? People that always make you feel on guard. You can't let down your guard. You can't just relax. and enjoy company, knowing that people are there with the right intentions for you. They're there just because they enjoy your company. They're not there to use you, play you, insult you, leave you out on purpose. You're not a punching bag for people, right? So then you started wondering, like, is this my reality? Like, is there any other reality that I could be in that's more peaceful? That's what I get. And the Page of Swords also comes out. So there's a lot of brainstorming that you did. Again, with her, like, almost floating with these ideas. Like, she's holding on to light bulbs, which also reminds me of these air balloons for some reason. Like, your ideas are lifting you up and helping you grow. Your ideas are going to be the what unchains you from whatever is holding you down. It all starts with how you think, truly, and the outside world then becomes what you think inside. Your brain is going to constantly find things to make sure that whatever your thoughts you're having or emotions you're having are valid, and that could be in a peaceful manner, or it could be in a very dark, dismal manner, constantly feeling like no one has your back, right? You have so much paranoia because you don't know really who's good for you, who's your friend, what family member truly loves you or is trying to set you up. Like, it's always something to worry about, and you wondered, is this really my reality? Is this all that life can give me? And you said, no, I want peace. I want people to be around me. This pops out. I want people to be around me that collaborate with me, that I could feel relaxed around. I could just walk into the room and do what I need to do and be respected at the very least, right? Like, you don't ask for much when it comes to peace with people, right? You give a lot of leeway for everyone to just be themselves. No one has to be like you. You don't have to even have the same viewpoints on life, but you respect each other's boundaries. You didn't get that wherever you were coming from, and that's why you have this new idea of, like, you know what? Peace is better than bad company. Some people are so afraid to be alone for, indiscreet amounts of time that they choose to stay around people that are bad for them just because they need human bodies around them, because they're so lonely. This is not how you get happiness, right? It also is going to give you happiness. The Sun and the Peace card is like, that's true happiness, when you can wake up in the morning and feel at peace with yourself, with your decisions, with the people that you share your life with. Everything that you exert your energy towards is giving you a sense of peace now, because you made the right decision here. And it's going to make you extremely, extremely happy and excited. Everything changes if you're feeling like you're not connecting with the right people because you just left something. It's okay, because your ideas are taking you places to where groups of people are going to make you extremely happy, right? You're going to be so happy that you've gave yourself new doors to walk through with new people, instead of feeling overburdened, feeling like this is your karma, like you're just supposed to, I guess, not be happy. Like, if where you are is not making you happy or content, let's say, in any sense of the word, then you have to be the one to be like figuring out how to change this. Because if you just accept defeat and stay where you are and stay unhappy, stay safe, whatever safety means to you, you're never going to find this celebration, happiness, collaboration. 3 of Pentacles and 3 of Cups together. It's teamwork makes the dream work, and I hate that. I don't know why I had to say that, but it is. It's true. It's like when you find the right team, it could be friends, it could be family, it could be a community, it could be a workforce, it could just be collaborating with just people on a very light level that are just respectful. If you've been in a place where you've been disrespected for a very long time, you begin to normalize the disrespect and the abuse that happens to you, because you just had to learn to take it for decades or years or whatever it was that you were stuck in. This is not reality. This is what the reality of what you had to go through in order to survive was. But when you start dreaming about new realities and making the decision to find peace in yourself now, if the people around you aren't giving you peace, then you find peace elsewhere. And that's the most important thing to make you happy, right? Like, I'm going off on tangents here. The Two of Swords comes out again. Double confirmation with the Two of Swords. You know what? It's like the good angel and the bad angel on each shoulder. It's like, do I stay in safety, quote unquote, what I think is easy and safe, even though I know in my gut it's bad for me. It wears me down. It doesn't make me happy in any way. I don't feel accepted. I don't feel respected at the very, very least. Like a human being around certain people. You have to give yourself the chance to move on. You're the one that has to put the wheels into motion and do something about it. You can't wait for life to change. You have to be the one to let your imagination show you the way. You know, we have the High Priestess and the Ace of Wands, and both of their eyes are closed, and they're highly in tuned with their intuition. It's what is telling you inside in your gut, like, does this feel right? Don't think about the right answer of what everyone else wants to hear. Just be radically honest with yourself. Is this right? Does this make me feel good? Are these people good for me to be around? Do they have my best interest? Do they care about my happiness? Do they care about that, you know, if I'm well? If all these things just point to no, and you know it, but you just keep rationalizing away because you have to stay with your family or stay with whatever you're stuck in just because society tells you, oh, you should just stick by whatever no matter how bad they treat you. Three of Swords comes out when I say that. You want to be in that energy, the Ten of Swords, the Ten of Wands, and the Three of Swords. Heartbroken, beat up, sad, depressed, angry, tired. You're putting too much weight on your shoulders. You know better. If you want to accept that as your life because you feel like you don't have any options, that's where you're wrong, because you're the one that makes the options happen. You might not know how they'll come together. That's okay. Just make the choice of choosing you and whatever gives you peace at the end of the day, whoever gives you peace. And all the people that don't give you peace, double death comes out. Look at this. It's double Two of Swords and double death. Two different decks. This is what this is saying to you. Is you have two options, two decisions. One decision, but two options. Do you stay where you are? Or do you put a death to it and rebirth yourself, right? Start over for yourself. Choose yourself amongst anything else around you that gives you negativity. It doesn't matter what it is. Take charge, like the Queen of Wands would. You know, she takes charge and she makes it happen. And she doesn't care who's around her or not. She has many candles around her in this card. And she's super happy. You're the one in control. You're the one that makes the decisions to walk away. It doesn't matter how many people gang up against you and like put weight on your back to try and scapegoat you. Like you're the odd person out. There might be a gang mentality here of people just kind of, you know, they all treat you badly, but then once you speak up, they turn all their backs on you because it's just easier to kick out one person than, you know, reason with seven. So you throw a little energy back and you say, I see what you're doing. I don't really like it. I'm leaving. I have new ideas for myself. I know that I can go farther in life without you. And unfortunately, sometimes that is the end to fighting. You're putting an end to all these bonds. Why all the fighting? Why do you need to compete with people around you? Why does your family have to compete with you? Why does your family have to try and take you down the most? Isn't that deluded? So you just have to wonder and make quick decisions, because the longer that you stay in a place that is really bad for you, time is ticking, right? And something's going to give eventually. Something will give, whether it's your finances, your health, your relationships, your sanity. Something is going to happen eventually if you keep withstanding the amount of stress and you don't let it out, you don't change the direction of the energy, and you keep ingesting all this negativity. Just know that it's a ticking time bomb, and you shouldn't stay in that energy for too long. You shouldn't stay in this energy for too long, because it's just gonna hurt you the most. Sometimes people think that they have something to prove by staying in a family structure or a bad relationship or whatever, a bad workforce, and they're like, no, I got something to prove. I'm tougher than them. I can withstand whatever people give me. I don't care about this or that. It doesn't hurt me. It hurts you the most by doing that than just walking away and letting them fester in their own negativity. It's like living next to a golf course. A lot of people say that it's one of the most, if you want to die early, live next to a golf course, because the amount of pesticides and all these chemicals that they constantly spray on the grass, the wind takes it into your yard, and you also ingest it. And people have been known to die a lot faster when they live next to golf courses. So if you want to live next to a golf course because you think it looks pretty, but deep down inside, you're just inhaling all this negative, all those chemicals, all these things that are killing you. You want to die early because you think you can handle it. You're better than anyone else. You're tougher. The toughest thing to do is to choose yourself and walk away and give yourself the real opportunity for peace and happiness. And if you just follow your intuition, because your intuition will tell you, reality and practicality will stop you. Sometimes if you just radically listen to your intuition and listen to it and just make the change for yourself, if it's always for the betterment of yourself without hurting other people or things around you, take the chance.